Hi everyone, wanted to just talk to you today in follow-up to Ben's excellent message on Sunday where he was talking a bit about idols, and he talked about the idols of the ancient world and how they often were physical things that you would go and have made and then set them up as a shrine in your house and sacrifice things to them. And then he talked about the fact that the idols that we tend to be drawn to are not quite like that, but they are still just as dangerous and damaging, and how we tend to kind of focus our lives in around particular things, and that takes the place of God in our lives. And so we would make sacrifices of our time and our energy and our emotion and our leisure. We'd line those things up along the kind of lines of the idol that we have, that we feel is important to us, maybe even without knowing it, and the expectation is that idol will then deliver us the kind of peace and the rest and the kind of hope for the future, and the comfort or whatever it might be that we feel that we need, because we know there's something missing. And I suppose that's the essence of why people why humanity has that drive, that idol factory that Ben was talking about, is because we know there's something missing and we know it needs to be filled, and we're trying to fill what's missing. We're trying to replace what has been lost. What I want to do today really is just recommend a really excellent book called Counterfeit Gods by Tim Keller. I think it's really superb. It goes into great detail in terms of that exact thing. What are these counterfeit gods? What are these idols? How do they influence us, and how can we recognize them and then deal with them? And just as a short summary, Keller puts those idols into categories, and 4 broad categories. And he says that you can sort of, in summarizing these things, you can put them into the category of power. In other words, the idols that I'm looking for are about winning, they're about influence, they're about success, it's about the power that I need. And in looking for that power, I'm looking for the comfort that will bring, for the sense of recognition, for the sense of well-being. And then the second category after power is approval. I need the affirmation of others. I need relationships. I need love. I have to sacrifice everything so that I know that I'm being affirmed. So I know I'm loved. I must know I'm loved by other people around me. I must have very strong relationships all around me, and absolutely everything takes second place for that. The third one is comfort. So privacy, freedom from stress, generally freedom to do whatever I want to do. And then the final one is control. Self-discipline, certainty, standards. It must be done this way, or all else kind of falls away. So power, approval, comfort, and control. And what he says is, he gives kind of a breakdown. So how will I know which one is me? Which one of those categories am I likely to fall foul of? And he says, look, if you're seeking power, then your greatest humiliation, your greatest dread is humiliation. So if you're looking if power and success, if winning is your thing, if that's the idol that you are raising, then the worst thing for you is to be humiliated. And the people around you, in response to that, often will feel used as you strive towards that winning, that success, because all else fades in the light of that success. And the main problem that you might encounter, that the emotion that's going to kind of dominate you, is anger. And so that's what he says about power. He does the same for each. So when he talks about approval, he says if your absolute need for affirmation is topping your list, then your greatest nightmare is rejection. And you'll do anything so that you couldn't even have a hint that you might be rejected. And he says the people around you in that case will often feel smothered, they'll feel dominated. They're going to feel as if you're just in their faces all the time, because you're desperate not to feel that rejection. And the greatest emotional problem is cowardice. You're afraid to take a risk because you can't jeopardize that affirmation and love of those relationships. The third one, of course, he said, was comfort. And he says the greatest nightmare for those who seek comfort as their idol is stress. It's demands on you And those demands, because those demands are taking away comfort, they are removing that freedom that you feel the need for. The people around you will often feel neglected because you are pursuing comfort all the time. And so you're not pursuing those relationships or friendships often. And so they will feel left out and neglected. And your greatest problem emotionally is going to be boredom. So he says that's the comfort idol. And the final one he says is control. If control is the essence of the idols that you seek, it's about self-discipline, certainty and standards, then your greatest nightmare is uncertainty. You can't cope with it. Uncertainty, I just cannot cope. I can't deal with it. Can't deal with anyone whose life has any amount of uncertainty to it. People around you will often feel condemned because they can't live up to the standards that you are setting. They can't keep pace with you. And your greatest emotional problem is going to be worry. You're constantly worried that the standards are going to drop, and therefore your sense of well-being is going to evaporate in the midst of that. So there you go. That's kind of a bit of a quick summary of Tim Keller's Counterfeit Gods. I'll just show you the book again there. I hope that's useful. I mean, I do recommend that you read the book. I find it really helpful, and I find myself in more than one of those categories. And of course, the answer is to consciously and continually put God first. You sometimes even to say it, Lord, I put you first today. I sacrifice everything for you. I want to give my life for you. That's the essence of the gospel, isn't it? To say, I die to myself. It's not about self-actualization. It's about saying, I'm finished. I'm over. I know that what's missing is so great. I can't find anything. I can't do anything. I can't be what I need to be to replace what was lost. But you are. When we say to God, you are what was missing. You are what has been what I lost. And in Jesus we find God willingly comes and puts himself in us and lives his life through us. And so we need to dethrone these other gods continually. It's not a one-off. We shouldn't be ashamed of it because it's a reality for our human condition. But we should go to war against these things and expect the Holy Spirit's help in the moment and in each moment to dethrone these gods and continually to place Christ on the throne of our lives. God bless you as you go through another day.